imagine if you did that as a human. You walked in and saw your face on a pillow and like you just started tearing it up. Someone walks in and they're like, are you, are
What
you
the fuck
okay?
is going on here?
Are you
No, Mum,
okay?
you will not replace me with a cushion.
I'm more than just a face, Mom. You don't understand. Someone asked me yesterday, oh, what's your podcast about? And I just had to
Everything.
stop for like a minute and I was like, um, well, it's kind of about everything. We just kind of talk for 2 hours and then I edit it down and think of a name and it's there. And sometimes I was trying to be like, oh, and sometimes we have serious talks and we talk about mental health, what it's like to be a woman and fat phobia and
It's
stuff.
quite lefty content, really, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it is. But then I had to balance that out with, and also there's an episode where for some reason I said Yas Queen had completely derailed the whole event. Like, how do you explain to someone that both of those things are the same thing? Like, you go simultaneously from serious content to Yas Queen. It's not. I mean, the fact that I'm still saying Yas Queen about 5 billion episodes later, fuck me.
I think it's. God, I can't. It's gonna be.
I also had to explain how we're the worst people to have. Like, really, one of us needs to be immune to the other one laughing because that way it would keep it moving. But if I hear you laughing, something in me just wants to laugh, and
Yeah.
then it's all gone wrong because then you're gonna laugh because I'm like, it's gonna be a mess.
I think it was very much a good thing we weren't in the same house at school, because if we were, we wouldn't have got any qualifications. Do you remember German? I don't.
I think the only reason I got a B in German is because you left. I think if you'd stayed, that would have been it. That would have been the GCSE I failed.
That was your lowest grade as well, wasn't it?
I was playing catch up. I'd lost time. There were the lost years at the beginning where we were more interested in what snacks we were going to get than the bloody lesson itself.
It was just a disaster.
It was a mess. It was a mess. I have a question for you.
Hit
I mean,
me.
I'm assuming you have started recording, and this is all
Yes, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
This is
Just a quick question. What episode are we on?
24, I think. 20. Yeah, I think it's 24.
I just suddenly thought, I don't
I
know what
wondered this
episode we're on.
earlier. Yeah, it's 24 because I've got it on my iTunes as 23 for the last episode. So
Yeah. In that case, hi, it's episode 24. How's it going? We're fine.
we're not fine. I was messaging Chris yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yes.
And I was telling him that, oh yeah, just to let you know, and this is also a public announcement, that for the first couple of weeks of September, I might have to cancel the podcast last minute because I've got my dissertation due and I feel like I'm really far behind at the moment and I'm very stressed, so I might have a breakdown about it. And then as I'm messaging him saying that I might have a breakdown about it, I started having a breakdown about it. And then there was this like self-awareness. I was like, if I keep talking about the fact that I'm probably going to have a breakdown, I think I probably am having a breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like the message. I think I'm having a breakdown now, if I'm honest. I was just like, fair enough. And then I was telling Joe about this when I got home. In my mind, I was like, oh my god, do you know what would be so funny? I could type it, and I was like, I was trying to work out how I could make it clear that that's obviously not what I was saying. And so the only way for me to do it was to put sarcasm before it and to say the sentence, have you considered simply not having a breakdown?
I did do a double take when you put that. And you know what? I realised I was having a break. Like, I think it was more of a panic attack. I don't really know. Yeah, it was probably a panic attack, but it wasn't. It was just like a sort of mild one where I wasn't like fully freaking out. I was just felt horrible for a couple of hours. But when you sent that, I struggled to find the humour in it, and that was when I knew. I was like, if I can't take that from Chris, that's probably where I realised I just
The
need
thing
a
was,
moment.
I was fully expecting that if I didn't put sarcasm in, the state you're in, you possibly flip out
Turned
and
on
lose
you.
it. And I was like, I need to make clear this is sarcasm because the aim I'm going for here is it's like it's so ridiculous that maybe it will make you smile a little bit.
It was.
Um,
It did make me smile, but it also was like, fuck you. like dead serious fuck
to be
you.
clear, I did follow up with, no, seriously, is there
Yeah, I
anything I
know,
can
it was
do?
cute.
Like I did immediately throw it in because I was like, I need to make. Oh my god, can you imagine if I just like?
I
I
think
think I'm having a breakdown. Well, just stop.
what
Just
also
don't.
happened was that I'd messaged you like one after the other, and then so you started replying one after the other, and then I thought mentally I can't respond to each of these, so I didn't address half the things you said either. I don't think I just was like,
It's fine. I actually addressed them out of order.
oh,
I just I
maybe
I
that's
I
why I couldn't function with it.
I
I'll blame
I
you.
was a mess. I was a mess. Which is probably a good moment to talk about my second
Yes,
trip to get a suit.
I
Which can I
really wanted
say?
to hear about this at the time. I just wasn't ready for it at that moment. I am
Well,
now
I'm happy
ready.
to report first of all, and I'll get. It's almost the least interesting bit is I got the suit. Okay,
Oh,
I
why?
am
Why would you
now
lead with that?
suited.
You could
Well,
have
I
kept
mean,
the suspense.
I actually want to show you the suit.
Oh,
I'm gonna
oh
send you this
yeah.
picture first. I'm gonna send you this one because I like that one. That's the lining, which I love because it's so strange. Um, and then I'll send you that
Ooh,
one. I'll send you this one.
ooh. I
And I
like
just want
this.
your live reaction to it. No one else can see it.
Oh, those
Um,
shoes are nice shoes. I thought you were going to be wearing like some ugly trainers or something.
no. So this is how I mean I'm gonna have a tie. I don't have a tie on in that one because
Wait, that's the same picture.
no,
Oh,
it's not.
I clicked on it. It's my
You
error.
clicked on the same. I can literally see it's not the same picture.
You look really slim.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad I hid my natural non-slimness.
That looks really nice. You look
It
like sort of
actually
like
is.
you're going to work at Wall Street or something. You look
Now, see,
very
this is the
dapper.
problem. This is the problem. I actually had to because it was so slow. I was like, I need to message someone. I was like, I'm going to talk to Kat about this on the podcast, so we're not talking to Kat. So I
Okay.
sent it to my friend Beth, and the message I sent was, "Do I look like a wanker?" Because I was just like, I like it, but do I just look like I'm some private school dickhead who, you know, anything like that? I was really paranoid.
I think if
Um,
you don't wear that as your everyday look, then you're okay.
well, exactly. That was my thing. I was like, it's a one thing for the graduate. It's the like the suit that's kind of used for nice occasions. I liked it. I liked it. I actually felt when I took the picture, you look alright.
You
And it was a
do.
nice contrast to last week when I went to M&S and wanted to shoot myself in the face afterwards. Um, but you know, I mean that, like I said, this is the least interesting bit of everything.
I keep staring at it. It's
I
very
hope in a
nice
good
suit.
way. Okay, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. I low key was worried. I was like, I really don't want to look like a wanker. I
No.
really don't want that in my life. You can tell where my mind is at, my priorities in life. Um, so set the scene. I mean, I'm driving in. Okay. So I got to the shopping centre, and my first clue that it was not going to be a fun trip was looking at the sign on the multi-story that said 50 spaces available. This is in like a
Uh,
five-story car park. If yeah, a pretty big car, at 50 space. I'm like,
they're gonna be hard to find.
balls. They're going to be hard to find, and this means it's busy today. And I was like, and I have to do this. I have to get the suit, so it's fine. Drove in, cool. Um, Immediately after getting in, someone nearly T-boned me. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. I got in there, I was driving through slowly with my lights on, and someone clearly is like, "Oh yeah, I can just drive it a million miles an hour," and I was like, "Oh, hello." I nearly died today, so that was fun. You know, that's always a fun. You know, I don't think you're really driving until your heart is beating at least 3 times faster than it was when you were resting. You want to feel anxious. You want to suddenly be like,
Burn
hmm.
those calories.
Oh, it does. Your metabolism really goes. I think that's why I look so slim in that suit. It's because they all burned off by the time I got there. So, I get that. It's fine. I see a space. I'm going for it. Someone else gets in there first. Like, I'm literally, my indicator's on. I'm clearly going for it. And this dickhead just goes in. And I'm like, you fucker. What? Why did you? I'm like, that was my space. It's fine. Let it go. Cool. Parked up, fine. Got out. Went into the shopping centre. It was fucking busy. As someone who's an introvert anyway, right? I fucking hate lots of people. When there's a global pandemic going on and you're still not quite sure who's vaccinated and who's not, and who's being careful and who's not, the last thing I want is lots of people everywhere. But that's what I got in Milton Keynes yesterday. Lots of people just there, everywhere, like doing that thing where, when you're walking and you're like in a straight line, you know where you're going, you've got it, you can see it in your mind. The route is set. And then some twat, like just as you went, there was like a little gap where they could walk out of. They just walk directly into your line of
It's
movement.
so awkward.
And it's like half the speed you are. And you're like, whoa, hey! And then you try and like sidestep around them from behind. And because they're so fucking lacking in self-awareness, they just wander all over the path, swaying around like some kind of inflatable man that, like, they have outside garages, the ones they have like the blow up man, and like, whoa!
They look like shoestrings.
And I'm like, fuck me, what is that? So it's, basically walking through. I'm pretty sure someone shouted my name at one point, and I just didn't even. I was like, I don't even care. This is someone. This could be my family. This could be someone I really care about. And all I could think was, fucking no. Do you go and do something else? I don't want to fucking see you right now. So that's the level I was in. Made it into next and nearly tripped over a child.
Oh, that's so awkward. And you're looking for the parent, like, claim them? Claim them,
like,
please.
Get the leash. Where is your leash? Put the child on the leash. Come on. And and it was a cute child, and I felt bad. Of course I did. And it was just like, because it ran out from, like, you got the racks of clothing and everything, and you can't see them. They're that small. No. They just run out, and you're like, woo. And it looked so scared, because obviously this towering adult had just turned up, and I'm like, oh, no.
And you do have a resting bitch face.
I do have a resting bitch face.
I think blokes automatically are just intimidating.
The worst thing is it's anxiety is what drives the resting bitch face, and I think I actually broke out into sweat getting into next. But next is fine, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some different shoes. I decided I'll get some brown shoes to go to the seat.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that could look quite good. So I popped along to the shoe shop. Now, as we record this, it's the 29th of August, which means that September is very close. And in September, kids go to school.
Oh,
and kids who are going to school need shoes. Oh my god. So many children and dumbass parents. Oh my god, and they're just there and they're in the way, and they've got 20 bags which conveniently are blocking the path to the one shoe that you want to look at. And oh my god, and they're everywhere, and they're sniffing and coughing, and you're like, great, I'm gonna get ill, and it's not gonna be COVID, it's just gonna be some fucking cold that sticks around. You're just ticking off the things that you really don't want to experience. And then I get the shoes, it's fine. I get them, they look good, cool. And it doesn't occur to me that if there are lots of people in a shop looking for something, there'll be lots of people in a queue for the till. Half an hour.
No.
Half an hour in a queue.
God.
And while I was in the queue, that's when you messaged me. I'm like, I think I'm having a breakdown. And I, by this point, I'm still feeling the anxiety from the person who tried to T-bone me in the car park. That's still going on. That never left. That's been there on the back burner. It's all these things layered up, and I haven't eaten enough. Like, I spent a
You're so
while looking for a
helpless
right
as well
suit.
when someone goes to T-bone you. It's not like you can move out the
Exactly. There's
way.
nothing
You're
I
just
could do. I
stuck
can't
there.
literally shift my car to the side. But like, I've been there long enough that I was feeling hungry, I was feeling dehydrated, I was feeling miserable. Like, I just wanted to leave, but like, I couldn't actually address any of the things. Like, I was feeling hungry, but like, I don't have anything to eat because I'm in a queue. I'm feeling thirsty, but I don't have anything to drink because I'm in a queue. And like, I'm not gonna leave because it's one of those things that the longer you spend in the queue, the more you're like, if I leave now, that was for nothing. So I have
Oh
to stay
yeah.
in the queue. I have to stay there and grind through to the end. I will say, I shared a clip from last week's podcast, which was me talking about going suit shopping because it was so fucking mind fucking last week. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who messaged and said nice things and reassuring things. Because yeah, I went into and I actually tried on a suit and it looks good, and I looked at myself, and even just for a second, I just thought, you look good. And that
Yeah,
was a nice feeling.
you very much do. You look
That was a nice
very
feeling.
smart.
So shout out to Next for actually having suits that fit more than one style of man, and M&S, I hope you go bust in the near future. Fuck you.
How does your fat ass fit into it?
It fits very honestly. There's a point I haven't sent you the picture, but I did genuinely just look and take a picture. I was like, okay, the ass needs to look good, and so I took a picture. And I was like, the ass looks good, son.
Peachy
Yes, we're gonna go
booty.
slay. So I'm gonna graduate with a banging ass, and that's all anyone could really ask of me.
I think you should get a picture of your backside right outside
I'm gonna
uni.
try. I'm gonna see if I can get like when I go for the photography stuff. I'm gonna try and get a picture. I'm like, can you take two pictures? One of them looking nice, and one of them it's just me with like, and I'm going. I'll like pull up the blazer a little bit, and I'll be like, hey, and that's the one I'll use for LinkedIn and everything. That'll be my
That
professional
sounds like a
photo for
plan.
evermore. Is my ass. I think it'll look great. Yeah, sorry, I just took out that's your half an hour Chris Payne update. I hope you enjoyed it.
I was
I'll edit it down so it will take less time, you know.
I don't know if you should. I think that was everything was too.
Not gonna lie, there was moments I was like, she's too quiet. She's so bored by this.
Oh no,
But
it's because Pippin's being a twat.
oh, I heard Pippin being a twat, and I was like, oh, I can't even. I'm not
I
gonna
was
address
trying
this. I'm just
to
gonna let it
not.
happen.
Yeah, he was jumping on our bed and woofing and yelping. He's been fed. He's gone to the toilet. There's no. He's just being. I think it's because Peg is in the other house, so he is like wondering what else is out there. He's like, I could be playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go to
And you know, the
sleep.
second the podcast is over,
I would just
dead
go
to
to
the
sleep.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I pulled his tail at one point, forgetting. I mean, his tail is healed now. Just to clarify, but he was annoying me, so I pulled his tail.
It's healed, so Cat wanted to remind him that you know what can be fixed can be taken away at any given moment.
It was he went out of reach, and I just sort of before he hurt it, I used to like slightly pull his tail because that would get him to play. And I just thought, oh, if he thinks I'm playing, he might calm down. That sounded backwards. It made sense in my head. But he just turned around and looked at me like, "Fuck you," and then walked
Yeah,
off.
I was like, you know, that's my sensitive spot. You know, you know what happened here. Oh my god.
It's
Anyway,
it's like the hair and stuff's growing back. I'm hoping our rescue centre does a charity dog show, and I'm in like 2 weeks, and I'm hoping it will look sort of relatively normal by then.
I mean that's the dream. If not, Pippin will just,
Get sympathy votes.
exactly.
It'll be his
Exactly.
first dog show because it didn't happen last year because of the
Oh.
Rona.
Ah, the Rona.
I think he could do quite well because he is quite cute.
He is quite cute. He is.
We got put in the local newspaper, actually, the one before COVID, probably because we had 4 dogs.
What crazy lady has multiple dogs in a picture of you trying to walk with 4 dogs? Like, the
Yeah,
leads flying. I have an idea if you have like a long coat on, like the coat is flying everywhere. The
I
leads, you
did
got
actually have a long
things.
coat on. I looked a bit Cruella de Vil because I had a leopard print jacket on. I didn't really think things through. Yeah, obviously, like, not real leopard print, like, not real fur or whatever. But
Why did you kill that leopard? Cat, you're a vegetarian, fuck's sake.
but yeah, like, Pierce and I. Oh no.
You should have caught that sneeze. You were telling us about how you managed to catch the sneezes and stuff.
Well, I felt it. I said, "Oh no." I thought it'd be more funny if I went, "Oh no," and then didn't sneeze.
No, that's true. After you said, "Oh no," I needed the payoff for that, really.
I don't think I would have been able to. It's not every sneeze I can hold in. It's just
No,
most.
to be fair, I've actually thought about it since, and I just want to say that I do know what you mean.
Somebody on
It
TikTok agreed
clicks.
with me, so
Yeah, I believe that was Mila, the awesome Mila, who said that she knows the feeling. So
yeah, I'm not a freak, so
no.
haha.
Well,
Okay,
you are,
slightly. Oh, I was gonna ask you. This is a bit of a random one. Have you seen a TikTok of me and Piers recently?
the TikTok where you like fall on him, whatever, and he pushes you off.
Oh, damn!
That's the one I've seen.
I was gonna get you to react to it on here. Oh well, you've already seen it.
I loved it when I saw it.
You can scrap that then. You screwed my plan up. No, because I thought it was quite funny. Nobody saw it like coming. Everyone thought you was some sort of wife beater in the.
I know. I
comments.
looked at the comments of it. And everyone's like, "Are you okay?"
I was like,
Are you
how do
okay?
you
I
not
was
find
like-
this hilarious? I thought it was
done.
just funny that Piers just kept a straight face.
It is beautiful. It really is. I just loved it. It worked so well, and I, like you said, I didn't see it coming, so I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, okay.
okay.
Well then." I mean, have you had what's been going? I mean, you had another gig this week.
Yes, it was actually really nice. I don't know if you've been to Unit 9 recently. It's like
No.
very different. They've like really upped their game. They've got a big stage, proper lighting. They've got a balcony view and stuff. And it was really really like just a nice venue, and everyone was really helpful. Yeah, it went really well. And we've got another gig next week that I wasn't gonna go to because it's just getting a bit close to deadlines, but at the same time it makes it a lot more difficult for Pierce if I'm not there, because I sort of deal with a lot of the problems that come up. Yeah, it's so there's people. I don't think people realize how stressful it is just before the. If we did things like a normal band, then it probably wouldn't be so stressful. But
I think people think that a band turns up, plays, and goes home. Like they just turn up,
there's
plug
so
their
many
guitars into the
typical-
amp, like
Yeah.
goes through it a bit, and then fucks off again afterwards. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
There's so many like tech issues. Like this time round, Abby's amp had an output issue, so there was nothing
Oh.
coming out of it. We had to borrow somebody else's amp, and like Pierce's they've just started fucking around with putting vocal effects on Pierce, but through a separate like output, XLR output, and they have their own. We essentially run the sound off of. So there's a front of house sound engineer, and then we have 2 other people as well, which is just so extreme. Yep. Jim running the backing tracks and Steve running the vocal effects. And to make sure everybody everything's working is a lot. Especially in bigger venues as well, because leads are longer, meaning it's easier for them to break, and signals. If you use anything wirelessly, it has to fit the range, and yeah, just stressful. So yeah, no, but it was really, really good, and it was worthwhile, and it's only the band's fourth gig together, and they have transformed from, like, they're just so hot on it. Normally there's like a warming up period, but they've, yeah, really shortened that down.
When I watched the live stream a
Yeah,
few weeks ago, I just thought this is such a solid, like
and that was their
it
first
just
gig
works.
together.
You just look at it and you're just like, this just works.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's so
really
good.
happy.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's like everything's going really well, and Piers has had some good news about his solo album. So yeah, like
Oh,
can't really share anything because we haven't signed contracts yet. But
watch this space.
Watch this space. Yeah, no, it's pretty exciting shit. So everything's going well, but like at the same time, there's just so fucking much going on. For me, I've just switched off. Everyone keeps asking me to meet. That sounds like really narcissistic. Everyone keeps like wanting to see me. No, like I absolutely love my friends and family, but I'm just I can't even reply to people at the moment. It's just too much.
I relate to that. I felt so burned out on Monday, Tuesday. Like I was just so absolutely burned out, and like I had no energy left, no anything left at all. Because like it's like when you you're just doing stuff and you're constantly doing stuff, and at some point you just stop just for a second, and you're like, I gotta stop this. I can't carry on like this. I feel exhausted.
Yeah, and like I don't know at the moment if it's sort of like I don't know, like a depression episode or something I'm going through, but I I don't like the project I'm working on anymore. I'm like just fed up, and I think it's just because I'm so close to finishing
Mm.
that, like I jokingly said to Pierce the other day, I just want to quit. Like I just fuck the masters. Like I just but it's just hard. It's so close to being done, and then after that I have to get a real job. Um, well, it's not even like there's not a massive pressure because we make enough money from the studio and stuff, but I don't think I would cope very well if I wasn't
Yeah.
throwing myself into something more. Well, the other thing is that we're rebuilding the studios in a couple of months. So when that happens, we won't be able to have clients in, obviously. So I will have to have work elsewhere, and obviously the cost of building the studio is going to be big. So I
Mhm.
have to sort of
Mhm.
get a job. Yeah, it's just like so close to being done, and then there's so much unknown. Yeah, it's
I
just
had the similar thing when I finished when I was getting to the end of uni last year, with my dissertation, and the last few months are like because at that point you've been thinking about in my case I've been thinking about dissertation for like a year,
yeah,
basically. Um, and you've been working on so long, and you don't even you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I don't have anything left to say. I'm so bored of like reading the same things and writing the same things. And you write something and you give it to your tutor, and the tutor looks at it and they're like, yeah, but this is not great, and this is not great, and this is not great. And you're like, okay, well, I thought that was good. And at some point, you're so done with it, you start to hate it.
yeah, and
Even though
that's where
you
I'm at
don't
at the
hate it.
moment. I don't
You
hate
don't
it,
hate
no.
it, but you're like, I'm done with it. I've done too much of it now, and I just want it. I would rather it was finished and shit than
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I literally, and like, it's not even with the MA, they're pretty chill about taking extensions and stuff, but if I took an extension, I would feel, I'd be pushing everything
It's the
back,
pressure,
and
yeah.
yeah, it's just a bit of a rut, and like, I'm not motivated to do my work or
Mm,
anything. It's just such a weird place, and I did feel it last year, but it was more of a panic about fuck.
mm,
I really, it was more of a financial thing
yeah.
because I didn't want to move. I knew I wanted to move in with Pierce, but I didn't want to move in with him and not be able to pay him rent and like freeload off him until I got a proper job. There's that like, even
You
though
wanted some kind of independence.
yeah, and I feel because we've got other stuff going on, I feel less bad about that now. It's not so much the pressure of getting a job; it's more the fact that I've just got to get through this month, and it's just spending too much time by yourself, and I'm constantly tired. I am like, I don't know if it's because every time we do a social event, it takes me like 3 days to recover from that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's because of COVID or just I just don't really know. It's also allergies and stuff been really bad lately. That seems to I'm always my nose is streaming at the moment, which is nice. But yeah, it's just a bit like
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I think the other thing I had with my dissertation at the end was that I felt, because I'm such a perfectionist, which is not a good quality
it's
to
not a
have
good
on the
thing.
whole.
No.
Like, I get to a point where it's going really well at first. You make progress, you think, I'm so excited to see where this goes. And then at some point, you reach this point, it's normally like, I would say about 75% of the way there, when the end is in sight. And you start finding all the mistakes you'd made. You're suddenly aware of all the things that you should have done several months ago that you hadn't done,
Yeah.
and like the ways in which it could be better. And like it means that you're still working, you're still making progress, but all of the you're not actually happy with what you've done already.
Yeah.
And it's like you get to a point where you're like, shit, now it's just shit, and I can't fix it. I can't save it. I can't do anything to it. I can only like damage limitation, and that is terrible for motivation because you just think you've lost faith in what you're doing, and so you just think, well, I just want to get through it. I just want to finish it because that way it's done, and I never have to see it again. But yeah, that's definitely a killer for motivation.
I think yeah, with doing the composition stuff, everything I write at the moment, I'm like, that's dog shit. That's dog shit.
Mm.
And it was actually I got Pierce to listen to a motif that I had, and I said I'm a bit worried because it kind of sounds a bit familiar, and I don't know if I've plagiarized. And then he looked at me like bulging eyes. I was thinking, oh fuck, I've copied something, and it turns out it was a song that I'd probably heard before, but I didn't recognize it. So I listened to the first bit of it to see if I knew it, and I could hear the similarity in the motif, like the riff I'd written. But yeah, I hadn't actually didn't know that song, so I
Of
couldn't
course, it
have
wasn't
copied it.
intentional. Yeah.
And because of that, I'd already put a couple of motifs after that point, so it's not plagiarism. It's not close enough to be completely ripped off.
Mm.
But it was more the fact that I was like, this little section here, note by note, is a really really famous song. I didn't know it, but like it. I'm not gonna say it on here because otherwise, then if anyone hears my composition, they're gonna be like plagiarized. But yeah, it was just like, oh shit, hang on a second. If I wrote this riff, and this really amazing band also wrote this riff, I can't be dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like 10 minutes of feeling good about myself, and then I was like, oh no, now there's a load of pressure to actually make this work.
I think the thing I find of like, especially with music, is in kind of standard Western music. I'm now trying to count in my head, and it's not going to work out very well. There's like, what is that? 13 notes or 12 notes? Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
12.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 notes in an octave, right? So
You made me question that then. I was like 12, and I was like,
it's because I'm
is
literally
there
staring
12?
at the keyboard next to me and counting at the keys. But like, so it's limited, and at some point, it's entirely possible that two people who have never met and never listened to each other's things can come up with an idea that sounds pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many ways that you can put together all of those things, and it sounds like nothing. So at some point, it's going to overlap a bit, and I think that's not. It doesn't mean a bad thing because actually, even though you might have the same combination of some notes in a motif, actually, when you put it together for everything else, it's nothing like it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nothing like that at all. And you're like, well, that's just how it goes sometimes. So I always think it's tough to get it right, and we worry a lot that we're like, oh my God, this sounds like this. I've ruined it. I've ripped them off. And it's like sometimes you're gonna come up with some like a way that you can two people can think about something and go, oh yeah, yeah, you understand, you know what I'm talking about, even though you haven't actually explained it fully. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like just how it goes. So I think it's tough, and there's lots of pressure on to
yeah,
do that.
yeah. And I like, I think we might have spoken about this before, but did he just burp or growl? Oh, it doesn't matter. Um,
Maybe a bit of both, A
it's because I've
grow.
got the headphones on. I can't really hear what he's doing too well because I've got you quite loud.
Hi.
Um, but sorry. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, because I was really stressed last semester because I was like, I really want to get distinction, so it sets me up well for the final project,
Of
and
course.
I'm averaging a decent distinction. But the thing is, there's this subtext or in the postgraduate thing which says even if your average is a distinction, you still have to get one in your final project.
Oh,
So it's like great. It's like you
the
can't.
pressure's not off.
No, not at all. And my lecturer's been on holiday for the whole of my project.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yeah,
tough.
yeah. I just don't. Yeah, it's not fun. I just. I think there's this part of me is like, we felt this way before. Talking to myself, we felt
Mm-hmm.
this way before, and we've got through it every time. What's gonna happen this time? We might hate ourselves for the next month, but we'll, even if we'll make it work somehow. We'll somehow do it. Um, yeah,
I feel that. I feel that. I actually yeah, that's kind of how I get through most of my like episodes of like depression and things is like
just one more
it's like
time.
I feel shit right now, but I felt this way before. Like oftentimes I can look back and I felt like this in this kind of place before and I made it out. So let's just keep doing what I'm doing, do the things I know how I'm doing, and hope and that I can find a way through it like I did last time. Like you say, just one more time.
And
Um, no, go on.
I, sorry, I was just gonna say as well. It doesn't help. Like at the moment, Reading and Leeds Festival is on, and this is my first year
Mm,
not going. And I've seen so many people I know at like All Point East, Boardmasters, Reading, at all these amazing festivals, and I'm like, that could be me. It's so like, do you fucking mind? Give me a moment.
wrong time, Pippin. Come on now.
We're gonna fall out in a minute. Just pause. Good boy. Um, yeah, like I think, this time next year I could be working at all of those festivals.
Mm,
And I guess the other thing is there's so much I want to do with the band at the moment. And I explained this to Pierce the other day. It's like I am like putting in very little effort into the band because I know I've got to put the time into the masters stuff. But then when I go to spend time in the master stuff, all I'm thinking about is the band stuff. So then I'm not
mm,
doing anything properly. So I'm not doing my master's work properly, and I'm not doing the band work properly because I'm designating time in my head and just. But then I'm also aware that every time I get a load of pressure to do my work, I suddenly pick up a new hobby to distract
yeah.
myself with, and I'm like trying so hard to be aware of that and not do that. Um, I've been thinking of loads of different merch ideas. I thought I won't say it until I've actually done it, so people can't fucking copy me again. But yeah, I was thinking about all these stupid ideas, and I was like, oh, it'd be great when I'm in that unemployed bracket before my start date with work, because I can do all these things. I can put 100% into the band, I can do a bit of wedding planning, I can make merch, I can do this, I can do that. And yeah, so I'm just not putting...
It's the Superman thing.
Yeah, sorry, it's like therapy.
No, it is, but it's like that Superman thing again of like you're trying to do everything because you want to give 100% everything, but
Yeah,
there's too many things.
there's too many things. It just, I think with the band
And you think you
having
should be
the
able to
EP
do it as
release,
well.
oh yeah, 100%. And I guess it's one thing when I'm looking at your situation and I think, oh yeah, of course, of course you can't do all of that. And I need to realise that the same goes for myself. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to let... Oh, I don't know. He's barking because he's whining because there was someone at the gate. I'm gonna let him out quickly because I can't deal with the whining. He's whining again. I'm gonna kill him. I said to him, I'd take your balls off if you...
Active threats this week on the World's Rights podcast.
I'm normally so nice to him when we're not on the podcast.
Before we go on to music, I just want to maybe we'll come back to it again. But I was thinking about this week. Actually, it was while I was feeling burned out and like, and it was like a kind of, I don't even know. Okay, so here's the thing that I've been thinking recently.
Words.
Like through COVID, or like through the bulk of COVID, people have been quite understanding of each other about, we can't be everywhere, we can't see everyone, we can't do everything, we can't message everyone, all that kind of stuff.
Why can't we be like that all the time?
Well, I feel like it's coming to an end. I think people are losing that. I think people are starting to reset back to you must be everywhere, doing everything, talking to everyone at the same time. And I just stopped for a second and I looked at my phone, and I looked at, the problem is it's like, you get, I don't want to sound narcissistic, I'm really not, but like when people are messaging you and you got like messages from like 6 different apps or something. And on each app, there's like 5 messages from people, and you're like, oh my God. And I can't, it's just exhausting. It's actually physically exhausting, and I'm not convinced that people are, I think I've reached the end of my people's goodwill with me. I think people are starting to get tired of the fact that I don't reply instantly, or that I'm not always available and everything, and I can't. I just felt really stressed out because I was like, I can't do all of this. I really can't. I cannot physically cope with trying to be everywhere right now, or like ever, Like, if there's one thing I've actually learned from COVID, weirdly, having been locked away from people for a long time, it's that I need those times where I'm not really talking to anyone just to fucking recharge and regain social energy, because I don't really have much to begin with. And it's one of those things where if I'm in a small group of people, I have a great time and I actually probably feel more energized afterwards.
I saw your story today, actually.
Yeah, that's why I shared it. Yeah. And a couple of people, a few people, or like even a bigger but people well, I like gain some energy. I feel better for it. I feel good.
Yeah.
But if it's a big group or it's like some big event, I go in feeling already like, oh my God, and I don't enjoy it when I'm there because my mind is going a million miles an hour about things. And I have to, I was like, it said in that thing about, I'll leave at some point if I feel overwhelmed. And I was like, yes, that's literally how I feel with these things. Is like, when I turn up to something, in my mind, I have, I call it my escape strategy, my exit strategy in my mind. And I'm like, okay, when I can't deal with this anymore, I need a way to leave. And it's like, I have to think of a way that I can, like, it's okay if I just say I need to go, Do I have to like try and think of some excuse? Is this one of those situations where people won't just accept it if I say I need to leave now? Like all of these things. Because I just get overwhelmed with too many people and too many things happening at once. And I really don't want to go back to everyone expecting everything all of the time because that's not really healthy for me. And I can't do that. And I'm gonna end up like everyone can have access to me all of the time if everyone is happy to get short non-answers or a complete lack of any real connection or anything like that. Because if I talk to someone and I want to talk to them properly and listen to what's going on in their life and explain what's going on in my life and have a proper conversation. I don't want to have just a yeah, oh, cool. Like that's not really what I like doing. Some people maybe you love that. Maybe the small talk's what people love. I fucking hate it. I can't do it. It's not me. So I feel like you're like I just want to shout at the world, please. Like you have to see where I'm coming from here. I just need everyone to like back off. I don't know. Oh my god, it's very weird. Like I want to talk to people, I want to see people, I want to do all this stuff, but also
Yeah.
a speed which is much slower than apparently the rest of the world is ready for. I'm just like, can we just slow down a bit? Can we it, can people forgive me for being so fucking useless at every sometimes it's so bad. I have conversations with people where sometimes there's like a week between messages, and I hate it. I hate it.
But
But it's
sometimes
like
you need that though.
it's the time I need because I'm trying to do everything else that's or I'm trying to do the 9 to 5 and try and do some like content creation shit on the sidelines and work about how to like improve that and grow that and do that. And I know that lots of people that I know in person are not very interested in the kind of stuff that I do with like the podcast and like my streaming and YouTube and stuff. People aren't, that's not their thing, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. But like, I'm doing that because I enjoy it and I want to do something with it, which means that, I'm focusing on that and it's just so many things going on. I want a stop button, like a pause. I just want to pause everything for a little while and then unpause certain things slowly. And I think I'm still a bit burned out, to be honest. I think I'm still
Yeah, it takes some
at
time,
that
doesn't
point
it?
of just feeling like drained and exhausted, and like everyone just needs to just hang on, hold it. I'm here. Hello, it's me. I love all of you. If you're trying to talk to me right now, I love you, and I'm sorry, but please work with me. I can't do it. I can't. It's not even a moan. It's just a please understand. I am a tired and weak human being, and I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say at all?
I know what you're trying to say.
I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore.
I was trying to find, sorry, on Spotify, you might have been hearing me clicking. I was trying to find the playlist with all of the songs we've put in.
Oh yeah.
Because I wanted to see if you had heard. I couldn't remember if we'd had it in the podcast. I'll just send you a link to it because I want you to get your live reaction because it's sort of what you're talking about right now. You've probably heard it, but
it sounds like I'm really bitter and annoyed at everyone else, and I'm not. I'm more
No.
annoyed at myself because I can't be everything every time everywhere. But like, I'm just like, please don't hate me because I'm being useless or
You've also got to think of like how much you've achieved as well. Like I was trying to do this a bit myself and I was thinking about all the things I couldn't do a few years ago that I can do now. Like I'm not just looking after, I was thinking about the fact Piers and I like cleaned the house the other day, because it was just proper gross. Like shamefully, it was like the depression room had taken over the entire house. But we tidied, and I was sort of still, even after we tidied, I felt bad that it got to that point, and I thought, well, before I wouldn't have been able to look after 2 dogs, I wouldn't have been able to do X, Y, Z, and I've accomplished a lot as well, and I feel like you've got to try and have that attitude as well, that you're doing a lot more than you probably thought you would be doing.
Yeah. And I'm so happy with everything I'm doing. I love that I get to do this with you every week, and I get to do the streaming thing, a YouTube thing, and I've got a job in there, and I'm doing so much that I love.
Yeah.
But then I feel bad for doing things that I'm enjoying, because I'm like, oh, but these people need this. I was just listening. I don't think we've talked about this.
Oh yeah,
but
I wanted to get you alive.
Yeah, I'm listening, and I'm just like, I
This is a remix, by the way.
yeah. I just I was just listening to it. I like this. I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. And I'm like, yes, hello, that's how I feel. That's me. It was very much so.
It was a few things you said, and I was like, oh my god, you literally could be quoting this song.
I feel like I feel seen. I feel very seen right now. But,
and I really like this little. It's only 1.5 minutes.
It's very short. Yeah, it's already over. Like, I started talking about it, it's already done. Like, I like that. That was very I like it when a song like gets you. But yeah, I'm tired. I am tired. That's what I'm saying. I'm announcing to the world that me, Chris Payne, I am tired.
I feel bad. This episode's like slightly depressing, but it's like we're fine. We're just like burnt out.
I am fine. I really am. I'm just.
That's the thing. We're both fine. It's not more than that. It's not less than that. With like, I'm content.
I'm glad you know the feeling. It feels good, you know. Feels good when someone else like knows that feeling. You're like, oh, I'm not alone in this.
You're like, I'm sorry you feel this way too, but I'm glad I have someone to relate to.
Yeah, like I don't want any of us to feel like this, but swings and roundabouts. At least I love that I said it once to someone and we laughed about it. It was like, if we're feeling shit, at least we're feeling shit together.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that. Anyway. That's enough about me.
With that song, I was gonna say there's this bit and it goes, well, would you look at that? Another person telling me that I should just relax, calm down and take it easy. Everything will be okay. Yeah, sure, because that's what they all say. It's just like, oh, yes, that's exactly like.
Exactly, I mean, and like the next bit as well.
What you sarcastically said, just relax, like, because that is what everyone. Oh, just have a day off, and
that's
like,
what people would say. Yeah, people would say to you, "Oh, you should," and I could say that to you, but that doesn't help you because, you take a day off. All the things you're trying to deal with is still there waiting for you. Next day you wake up and it's like tapping you on the shoulder, like, "Hey, here's all the stuff you didn't do yesterday. Here's the guilt that you now have because you didn't do it yesterday."
And it's so easily when you take a day off for it to turn into weeks, like of just not doing anything, which is what I'm doing right now.
I love that. That next bit as well. Like, but oh, my mind isn't really my friend sometimes. I can hear my dreams calling me, but all these doubts are haunting me. I'm like, yep, feel that. Been there. Many a sleepless night where I'm like, hey, I'm ready to sleep, and my mind's like, let's talk about this.
Do you ever get anxiety, like when you're about to go to bed and you're sort of just thinking about random stuff? Do you ever just suddenly get anxiety or beat yourself up over something that happened years ago?
Yes.
And then it's
far too often.
You're like cripplingly, like full of dread, and you're like, why did I say that? And you're like, it's 5 years ago or whatever it is. You're like, why am I? And you're aware that you're doing it to yourself, but you can't help it. It's so embarrassing.
Human brain is a fucking horrible thing. should we go on to the proper music round?
Yeah. Oh my god. I sort of yeah. I
I
was
could
gonna.
play- Oh.
I thought we were on a very similar. Why did my voice break?
Yeah.
I thought we were on a very similar vibe this week.
I get that. I get that. There's
Like
definitely
you could hear
yeah.
all these songs in a playlist. Like it'd be very cohesive. Should we start with Sigrid because my
Oh.
little fanboy over here. No, I'm
Oh.
fangirl as well. It's just
Okay. Should I explain the fanboy instant briefly?
yes, yeah. Explain. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, but yeah,
No,
explain.
it's my fault because I was looking away from the microphone and everything. Yeah, I woke up yesterday and just scrolling through like Instagram Reels have taken over my life, by the way, and it's really
Oh,
toxic and
really?
terrible. Yeah,
Shit.
I say toxic. I love it. Like I do that thing where I scroll through a few and I like find them and send them to a friend, and I'm like, hey, look at this. This is funny. Like it's quite good. I mean, I've learned some things as well. It's really weird. I'll tell you about them sometime. Anyway, so yeah, Sigrid. There's one. It was Sigrid, and it was her talking about like music and things. So it's like, oh, what's your like first artist you're really into? And she tells the story about how she was like on holiday, whatever, listened to a song, and it was Clocks, and she just fell in love. And I was like, oh, I love that. I love that. That's so cute. And then it's like, what's the first album you ever bought? And she says, Milo Xyloto.
Well, she doesn't say
Well,
Milo.
she doesn't say that. She says some weird.
Mixie Lilito or something.
It's
like
very.
really. It's
It's
so
actually
sweet.
adorable. It's actually
It's just like
adorable.
oh.
And I was like, I think that's the first album I ever bought. Yeah, and I'm like there, like, what? And then she's like, oh yeah, and I love the song "Hurts Like Heaven." I'm like, that's my
my
favorite
favourite
song.
song.
That's my favorite song. And then she sings a line from the song, and I couldn't. I was just like, ah. And so I've kind of decided that I just feel like me and Sigrid are soulmates in some way.
I agree with this.
I feel like
ship this, and I
I
feel like she's nice enough for me to give permission for her to date you.
Hey Sigrid,
ship
if you
it.
want to, if we let's meet up. Let's have a let's vibe
Genuinely.
to Coldplay together.
The only thing I would say though is, I'd ship it more if you were. I feel like you could embarrass yourself by being a fanboy.
Yes.
But
Hey,
like,
Kat,
it's
I'm
so...
looking at a
No, no,
poster
no,
of
no, no.
Sigrid behind my monitor right
But
now.
it's so annoying though because I could actually ship you as a couple if you hadn't been a fan first. If you know what I mean. Like I could see you together and being well cute.
Can I just be honest here? I just want to just this isn't gonna happen, right? You know there's not a future where me and Sigrid end up. There's not even a world where me and Sigrid even meet each other. That world
but
doesn't
that's because
exist.
you don't get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Although you did
Exactly.
make it to a concert, so.
I did make it to a concert. It was a banging concert. I actually did. I walked into. I went downstairs the other day and I like said to my sister, "I've done this thing. I've started dancing like Sigrid." And she was like, "What the hell do you mean?" And I was just
Mum
like, she does
dancing,
that thing
sort
and
of
she just like she doesn't care and she's just going for it and it's like, I was doing that and I'm in love with Sigrid. Anyway.
Moving
Let's
on.
talk about Sigrid. Hey, look, I just want you to know that you're awesome, and you brightened up my day with that little nugget. So if you ever want to vibe to Hurts Like Heaven together,
Oh my
hit me up.
god, we should do carpool karaoke with Sigrid. That'd be fun.
I think I'd die. We'd probably get T-boned if I was driving. To be fair. Burning Bridges, second song from the new album. I don't actually know when the album's released. Hopefully soon.
With this song, wait, have you
No,
got something
go,
lined
go.
up? Oh, okay.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, it was like, oh shit, Sigrid like is a normal person. Sigrid dates. Sigrid's like, I don't know, like human. Like I guess, and has like emotions that we have. It was a bit of a. Did you feel?
I
that
get
a bit with this
exactly what
song?
you mean. It's weird. Sometimes we put people on a
You
pedestal. and
forget
think,
that she can be hurt, like because she's so
Yeah.
smiley and she's bubbly and just so sweet. Like like we mentioned in previous podcasts, um, that it's just hard to imagine her being upset by someone
Mm.
or being rejected by someone or,
She seems like the happiest person in the world, you know? It
yeah,
seems
and
like she's like, that like thing, idea of like sun coming through even on a cloudy day and like the sun is still there, still going. That's what she's like. And so this song really, I even took notes this week. I'm like fully like in my notebook. Normally I
cute.
just have them like on like typed up on the computer. I actually wrote them down. Um, I just yeah, it was so like it it's like realizing that how much she hurting in the song. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing about the like white flag metaphor of like really working hard to try and be like, look, let's make this work, let's work together, and the other person doesn't care and just like fuck you, I'm gonna make you feel like shit. And even though it's got like a kind of sad thing in there, I actually think there's like a weirdly powerful thing about the fact that it's like she's looking back, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, no, fuck you for making me feel that way. I'm done, I'm out, I know my worth, I know what I am, and I'm not gonna let you keep me there.
Yeah.
It was a Yas Queen moment.
It was a Yas Queen moment.
I
Yas
was just
Queen
like,
approved.
get in there. It felt really like, when you feel it, it's like I wrote down like working hard to save something you can't, because it's like it was clearly it's like a toxic relationship, right? Everything she's saying is like that's so bad for you, but you're so in love that you try and make it work, even though it's like like burning bridges. Like you're still trying your best to be like, look, let's work this out. That's what it sounds like. No, no, absolutely not. And so it's sad but powerful.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's how I got
yeah,
the song.
yeah. No, for sure. And like it's not it's not a downer, it's still a pop banger. So
It is. It is. I felt uplifted with it at the end. It's this. It kind of reminded me of the last one, Mirror, in the same way as like it's got those kind of I'm
undertones
a
of like
succeed.
yeah.
I know my worth. I know who I am. I know that I can be strong. Fuck you. This is the fuck you album, I feel like, and I'm
I
here for
hope
it.
so. I'm ready for this. I'm still like beating myself like I think I spoke to you about this before, but I'm Griff, the artist, if you know her. I bumped into her at the backstage area at Sound and Calling, and she was like just about to sign in, and it wasn't so much of a chickening out thing. It was more she didn't know where to go or like where to sign in and stuff, and I
No,
thought
it's not the right time.
I didn't want to bother her, but I keep seeing her fucking everywhere on social media, and I'm like, what? Like, I really wish I'd said hi now. Like,
Hmm.
we could have been buddies, and now I'm just thinking, imagine if I chickened out of saying like hi to Sigrid or something. I'd just die.
I actually genuinely think I might just be in love with Sigrid at this point. I think that's it. I think I've accidentally fallen in love. Help me.
It's better than some of the other people you've fantasied.
So
So
real life
which one?
sucks.
Real life sucks. Oh my god, yeah. So I first heard this song when it literally was posted on TikTok for a minute, and it just came up on my For You page, and I duetted it straight away because I was like, this is gonna blow up, and it's now got like 6 million views or something, which is just crazy.
And rightly so. What
It's
a banger.
just, oh my god, it's just what you need to hear in your 20s, I guess.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
like
know.
it. It's like that. I wrote down Poppy and then next to that put not a bad thing, because it's like I was
Amazing.
worried it would sound like a bad thing. I'm like, no, it's not a bad thing. It's really well produced, and it's just like it's a bit. It's like it's nice and carefree,
Yeah.
It balances out the other songs you've got on there this week, so it's like a palate cleanser almost. But I love it. I was in a meeting this week, and they were talking about things like working from home and stuff and how that's all going to change, and it's not very interesting. There are lots of
Yeah.
people and they were like, well, you just need to understand that working from home is a weird thing. It's not going to continue forever. It can't continue forever. And I was like, Are you saying that because that's what you think? Or are you saying that because you think that because you had to do it, you had to go into the office 5 days a week, that now everyone forever must do that because you did it,
It's like that
even if
old
it's not
yeah.
necessary? It's like I need to pass on the suffering down the line. It should not be easier for you than it was for me. And I kind of thought of that when I was reading the line. I bet my high school friend's gonna hate my guts when I leave this town and he all gets stuck. It's just like
Yeah.
people want you to succeed as long as it's in a way that fits with their level of whatever is going on or what they've been through. And it's like they don't want you to have it much easier because if you're
Yeah.
having it easier anyway, if it's something which is more comfortable for you, it's like absolutely fucking not. I hate you. I just had a thing, but you know what? Apart from all of that, it was just a nice, carefree, happy song, perfect for your 20s. You know?
Yeah. I agree. It's just like you can scream that chorus out. I
Yep.
think that's just like what I love about it. You can just go mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is Kit. This is the Kit, fuck's sake. Um and we need to work out whether that's her nickname or not. That'll be interesting.
We do. We do.
And the song is
Yeah. What
called
did you think?
Bashed Out. Right, I put down in my notes, you know how I'm one for short notes. I
Mm-hmm.
put female hosier.
Yes. Fair enough.
I
Accurate.
just I really enjoyed the track, and it was just chill, wholesome hosier vibes to me, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I think it was on the background of something. I've heard a couple of her songs actually in the background of like things. Normally like quite emotional scenes, you know, things where it's like someone thinking or like deep in feeling something. And I think she's very good at doing that with her music.
Yeah,
Um
I hadn't heard of her before, which I'm surprised because she's a big timer.
yeah, I just find her music really sweet and really like it's kind of it's definitely sad, it's emotional, but like it's not it's just the way she handles it that makes it like almost sweet and like there's a bit won't you hoist up the bucket now because we've been most mightily filthy mud marks up to our necks. And I was like it feels like kind of metaphor is like I'm drowning, you know, like I'm struggling. Can you just make it better? Can you make something? Can you just clean away all of this shit and help me out here? But it's just the
Yeah,
way she does it. It's just so innocent and like it doesn't have to be that. It could be anything. I just she makes beautiful music and I love it.
I'll have to listen to more then, for
It's
sure.
similar kind of instrumentation kind of thing. It's very like um sparse, I guess is the word. But it's very nice,
I also like
chill.
the cover art. I thought that was interesting.
It's quite nice. It's quite nice. I
It's
love it.
unusual for um like mod is I mean I think it's 2015 that it was released.
Yes, yeah.
Um but I think it's quite different. It stands out. It's sort of like a painting.
I'm gonna go for Off My Mind by JP.
Oh yeah, I'm curious what you think about this because originally I listened to it and it was sort of on in the background and I was like I liked it but it didn't jump out and then halfway through I was like oh I just so yeah what did you
Yeah, I get that definitely a lot because it starts off quite like tame,
yeah
understated, and then the rest of the instruments come in and it like it grows a bit. It reminds me a bit of 10 Tons. There's a song by 10 Tons that I haven't been able to put my finger on it, but it's got that kind of feel to it, you know?
I actually put that remind me of George Ezra.
I mean, there you go. That's basically, you know, same world, same universe, you know?
Yeah,
I
that's quite funny. If people don't know, they're brothers.
Yes, yeah,
Just
yeah,
for
yeah.
context.
So
Um,
yeah, we're kind of in sync there. Um, yeah, first time I listened, I was like, oh, it sounds like he's like heartbroken or everything. And then I was like, wait, I don't think he is heartbroken. I think he's singing about having been in love and it have been having been something that wasn't good. it was
Yeah.
like a bad like relationship, and now he feels better. Like he's like
Grown.
found someone else, and
Off
like
my
yeah, like he
mind.
says, you're off
Yeah.
my mind. You're out. You're finally gone from my mind, and I've moved on. And I recognized that I was in love with you, but you weren't that good.
Did you ever have that with like you have an ex that you think about, you at the time you think about an awful lot, and then one day you realize that you hadn't thought about them in months, and it's like, whoa,
I think
I've
so.
grown.
I think so. You know, and you're like, yeah, a thing where you break up, and most of the time you're just like, oh, I hate you, like or something. You know, like there's bad feeling there, and
Yeah.
then over time you're just like, it's a thing that happened, but you don't have the energy to feel bitter or what. You're just like, huh, weird. That was a thing that happened, but I don't have much
Yeah.
about it anymore. It's a weird, like it's a memory. It's just a memory. It's something that happens. Oh, yeah,
For me,
weird.
whenever
But
I sort of think about like an ex, it's not
mhm.
really like all my exes I'm sort of friends with bar one, I think. um for a reason. And I mean, there's moments every now and again where you're like, fuck, that was he was a shitty person for this. And it was like yeah, realizations of
Especially when
it's
you're so hung up on them, right? And you're so like you were so deep in that, you're so wrapped up in that feeling. And like you say, like I used this song, blah, 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 the line, I used to sit and cry. I felt like I could die, and it's like it's so intense that feeling when you're there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
And
you look back and you're
but
like
now you're off my mind, like you're nothing now, like how
nothing.
could I
Like you
feel.
think about it, and it's not even like a hint of it that hits you. You're just like,
Yeah.
huh.
And I used to dread the day that if I ever walked in the same room as that person. Now I'm like, I don't like it. It would be a bit awkward, but it's not like
It
anything
wouldn't be
deep.
anywhere near as bad. Yeah.
And I guess yeah, it's like it's scary though, because as well you think, how could I have cared about someone that much? I don't know if you have this with
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
And you're like, I cared so much. It's like, shit. For me, I'm like, oh my god, what if one day like Pierce is the person who's off my mind? It's like, fuck, that's a really scary thought, and you can't live like that. But
No.
it does freak me out that you felt so strongly about someone who's now is so insignificant
hmm And the
that
whole thing
it could
about
happen
feeling that
again.
strongly about someone is terrifying. Like
Yeah.
I used to sit and cry. I felt like I could die. Like the idea that one person can have so much of an impact on you that it like brings you to tears when they're not around, or you're not getting something. It's like that's scary. That's a scary point to be at. It's crazy. Love is weird. There you go.
So that summed that one up. Um,
I liked the quote. There's a quote from him, and he said, "This is the happiest sad song I've ever written, I think." And I'm like, sums it up quite well, actually. A happy sad song.
it's quite funny.
I like that.
I was gonna say about Rag and Bone Man song.
Yeah.
I would not, if I listened to this and hadn't seen it as Rag and Bone Man, I don't think I would have thought it was Rag and Bone Man.
Exactly.
Which
Right?
was interesting because I don't know, like you with Rag and Bone Man, he's got such a distinguishable voice. I don't know why it took me a moment to get that out. And it was kind of nice that it was a bit different. It wasn't like formulated, let's say.
Yeah, I get that. I think it sounds almost just like when we used to just like pick up the instruments and just jam or something.
Yeah.
It just feels like that. It's just like guys are just going for it, jamming, having a sesh, and like yeah, I just it's it has like summer kind of vibes almost.
Yeah, I put Indie Summer on my
Yeah,
notes. Indie Summer, yeah.
which again doesn't really fit with my image of Rag and Bone Man.
I also put sort of like a bit of a James Bay
It
vibe.
has got a bit of that, yes.
But then
It
there's certain
does.
points where his voice sounds like really old school. Like, like 80s rock ballad. There's a bit of a twang of really old school in his like in his texture
There's a bit
and
of
timbre
gravel and twang and yeah,
that doesn't
definitely.
quite fit the like. I guess Rag and Bone Man and George Ezra are sort of very similar in the way they affected the pop, like they affected the charts in the sense that it was like you get very accustomed to very polished sort of light vocals for a
Yeah.
lot of tracks, and then these two boys came along with their deep, well, Rag and Bone Man with its sort of gravelly
Mm.
voice, and
George
George
Ezra
Ezra,
of a voice that
this
is
skinny
definitely
little,
not his voice.
yeah, like this skinny little guy who's suddenly a bit like a Susan Boyle moment where it's like, whoa, did
Yeah.
that just come out of you?
You're like, okay, so who's actually singing? Like, looking for the real person.
Yeah, I think with Rag and Bone Man, he looks a bit more. I get same with Lewis Capaldi though. This great big. I remember the first time. Well, I say the first time, the only time I saw him live, and it, it's sort of really dorky and awkward, and then not so much now. He's quite cocky now, but at the time, and then this great big voice comes out, and you're like, wow, that's so.
Definitely. Especially if you saw his TikToks or something first of Lewis Capaldi and then like heard his song, you'd be like, this isn't the same fucking guy.
I didn't even know he did TikTok. I'll have to have him on TikTok. Oh, of course he does
I
TikTok.
think it was TikToks.
It was just his issues with the Gallaghers. I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, oh god, don't know. Bloody Gallagher's. Yeah, no, I liked it, and I looked, obviously I looked at the lyrics a bit. I like the it's like kind of like the place where you grew up and you look around it and you'll be like, oh, that's gone. That's not there anymore. It's weird, like when you go around some and you're like, oh, that used to be there. Where did it go? Where's that gone? Why, like in something just, something just been knocked down and like
Yeah.
something else has been in its place and you're like, that's not right. I always think it's how I feel when like the points.
Oh my god.
When that eventually one day gets knocked down and built into something else, which it will, it's gonna have to happen
or
someday.
collapses.
Exactly. And like when that happens, it'll be great because it'll be an actual working, functioning building again, and it'll be shit because it'll be like, oh, I remember being in there and that
around and
where oh. I don't know. It's very weird. It's one of those weird things where you want everything to stay the same forever, but also you really don't.
It's a bit of a dump as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're like, this is terrible. I don't want it to stay like that. But the second
But you
it's
kind of
gone,
want your kids to see where you had your memories and stuff. So I understand it from that. I think with Milton Keynes, it's more like everything. It's not so much about things getting knocked down. It's more new buildings being put there. It's like, shit, that wasn't there. I came here last year and that whole estate wasn't there. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Like you like drive past them and you're like, oh, this was like. I felt like I'm a boomer sometimes driving past. I'm like, oh, there's houses here. There used to be just fields here. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you boomer.
I'm aware that this happened in like other places, but I think Milton Keynes was such a young well, it's not even a city, but young town or whatever, and we've seen it completely transform because of
that's a weird thing. Most time you live in a
generation.
city and it is how it is,
Yeah, like Oxford's not going to change anytime soon.
No, things might change. Just, some new thing might pop up around, but generally Oxford is, what it looks like. Milton Keynes is still at that point where it's like things get knocked down and changed quite easily, and you might not necessarily be aware until one day you're like, huh? Where am I? It's very weird. It's very weird. But yeah, I liked it. It's a good song. It's completely not what I expected from Wreck and Bone Man, but I like it.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I was thinking of something to add to that, but that was sort of where is that?
Well, should we go on to the last one then? Falling asleep at the wheel.
It's sort of basically, I think, I might be wrong. One of my sort of acquaintances, I don't know if she'd say friends. I want to be a friend. No, she's really cool. I did some work experience with this sound engineer called Alice, and I think she said to me that she was working with Holly,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, I should check her out, and then I realised she was a massive pig timer. And then I was like, oh shit. Yeah, and then I listened and I was like, oh, it's, you go through a load of different thoughts I felt with this track, because you've got that sort of poppy piano that you hear in a lot of sort of pop anthems, like dance music stuff, sort of like Sigala or any pop princess music. But then she's got this like really wholesome like singer-songwriter voice that just sort of intertwines with it. So it's
The words have gone again, haven't they?
Yeah, just lost it. But it's sort of like a merge of wholesome and pop, so you can sort of move to it, but then it's cozy.
Yeah, I actually
This is a really bad analysis.
No, I think I actually get what you're saying in a weird way. I wrote down, the first thing I wrote down was Lord/Sigrid.
Oh my god, I put down Sigrid as well. Sorry, that was way
It's
too
that
loud.
kind of deal. There's something in the voice. At points it sounds very Lord. There's lots of points where I'm like, you and Sigrid would be like, oh.
Yes. I put down Sigrid, Maisie Peters, and Jess Glynn as like people that are similar. Sorry, you were saying I just got very passionate about Sigrid.
No, I mean, come on now. This is we're a Sigrid and Jordan McCamper fan podcast. Yeah, you know, I said the same. I've actually got down here, like you want to dance, but also not.
So yeah, pretty much what I said then. Like yeah.
It's like it's a bop. Like you're like you want to do it, but also like it is sad. It feels sad. It's like it's not just the lyrics are sad. There is sadness, but you're very conflicted. You know, and the lyrics were just very I just felt it in my heart. You know, it's that like it kind of.
Who hurt you? I want to beat them up.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same. Yeah, who hurt you? Tell us. We'll beat them up. We'll take them down.
The most unexpected duos go and beat up people. But yeah.
Can you imagine? Payne and Preston, Hitman.
I'd be doing all the heavy lifting in that situation.
You would. I'd be doing the admin stuff. I think there's a lot of admin involved in being a hitman that you don't see. You know?
You'd stop us getting sued.
Yeah.
Or put in prison.
I'd be covering the tracks, you know. You'd be like, yeah, I've dumped the body. I'm like, no, you pick it up, put it back in the car. You can't dump it there.
You've got to use. Oh, you can use your science A level. Did you do a science A level?
I did chemistry AS.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Don't remember fucking any of it.
Oh. Well,
no, I don't.
It's
helpful. Terrible.
How did we go on to killing people? Right. Anyway.
So kind of.
It's a banger.
It's a banger.
Yas, queen.
Yas. Fuck me, what another mess of an episode. No, it wasn't. It was a good mess. It's a sweet mess. Cute mess. I think that's what we are. We're a cute mess. Cute mess.
Oh yeah.
We're like, you know, we're that weird person who's like falling apart, but you can't help but love them. That's the World's Rights podcast.
Exactly.
I didn't know what to say after that. I panicked and I was like,
no, this is the thing. You keep ending a sentence. I'm like, I need to say something, but I don't know what to say.
Got nothing.
And I don't want to sound like a sheep being like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Well, hey, look, thanks for listening. I think I always feel kind of content after our podcasts in one way or another. I'm just like, good.
Therapy.
Good. It is. It's like group therapy every week. I hope you feel therapized.
Please tell me that's not a word.
I hope not. If it is a word, it should not be a word.
And on that shit show.
Yes, we're out. We're done.
Concludes episode 24. Be on standby because Oh wait, I don't know if it's next week. Is it next week that I said? No. Next week should be okay, but after that we might have a slight break because I might be wanting to die.
Yes. We can't kill cats, so you know what? We'll keep you posted. Next week is 25, I think. So
Oh
we'll
shit.
we'll find something serious. I mean, I have a couple of ideas. I'm sure you have a couple of ideas, so we'll
Oh yeah.
pick something to
We
talk
can
about.
talk
And
after it's over.
yeah, but look, whatever happens, we'll see you then. So stay safe, look after yourself, be kind to yourself, because we love you.
Bye.
Bye.